Since your girls recorded, let's go ahead. Let's continue on with this while my internet speed is still with me to do the stream. So, TommyNFG, shout outs to you, gang. Worst times to be alive. So, without further ado, y'all, let's get into this next video. Y'all, let's do it.
The world is facing a massive turmoil all around it, and people aren't really happy with things like wars that don't need to be happening.
Bye-bye, Russia!
Inflation that turned a Little Caesars pizza from $5 to $10. It don't even be tasting good enough for this price. Little Caesars, y'all know you're wrong for this. People barely being...
And some people really try to strong arm the fact that Little C's pizza is actually good. That shit is garbage. It's not good, gang. Like, come on now. That cardboard tasting ass pizza. And for all of y'all that was talking about that little crazy puff, you know, the little 4 little crazy puff circle pizza things, they was alright. It wasn't even all that. For the hype, y'all was talking about something. It's giving it's giving like the Popeye's chicken sandwich before when it was at a limited time type of feel. No, it didn't. It didn't give that feel at all.
Being able to afford to live. But all things...
You said Pizza Hut for me? Every time I've had Pizza Hut in my adult age now, Pizza Hut used to be good. But now the pizza always be undercooked. Every time. I'm cool.
Things considered, we're probably at the best moment in humanity compared to other times. Which is why we're gonna be looking at the
worst times to be alive.
Starting off with none other than caveman times. The name of it in general gives it away. Caveman times. Them had to live in caves to survive the nights for slumber. Like, we consider the least you can have in life is shelter. Their shelter was a damp cave with all types of insects and bats flying around. You could barely around and risk sleeping because a 20-foot spider might bite your nuts off while you sleep. And could you imagine how sleeping in the winter would have been like? I know that rock bed felt like ice cubes. The typical day for a caveman is waking up and hoping you weren't eaten by either a saber-toothed tiger, a woolly mammoth, or Elon Musk. Then you had to go out and actually hunt for your food. And unless you're the liver king and hunting bulls then throwing a testes in your breakfast cereal, you probably don't do it.
Is that nigga eating... Is that nigga eating nuts? Is he eating testes? Is this man really rawing some testes?
And unless you're the liver king and hunting bulls then throwing a testes
he is
in your breakfast cereal,
oh
you
my
probably
god
don't do this. And the worst part too is that their weapons weren't even that good. Like, what did they have? Spears, bows and arrows, hammers? We use that shit in Minecraft now to survive. A spear or bow was probably cool to get a little bird or fox, but what the is it gonna do against the Gigantocopatic? Okay, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name.
What?
But this big ass ape, an extinct species of ape that were 10 feet tall and weighed over 1,000 pounds. This must be the primate Shaq comes from, because ain't no way, dog. You're gonna need about 1,000 arrows to take one of these down. Imagine these lived in modern times with us. The NBA would be paying top dollar to get one of them on their team. But nowadays, we could see one of these creatures and be like, damn, that's crazy. And boom, the species is gonna be gone. You also gotta factor in weather too, because unlike today's tools where we can predict when anything is gonna happen, before they had to take a gamble if their village was gonna be up or taken by a tsunami in the middle of the night. I would turn into a villain if I woke up and the whole village was swept away except for me. And people talk about lifespan being low before modern medicine in the past, but imagine in caveman times. They'd be lucky if they celebrated their 18th birthday. Doing my...
I was gonna say 30, you know? I was gonna say the age of 30, but you right. Maybe by like 18, bro. Shit.
Inquisiting research with asking a question on Google. The average caveman lived to 20 to 25 years old, man. It was...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Dang. Shit. At this rate, shit, I'm 32. I would be considered a mystical legend at this rate. I'd be considered ancient to live to 32 at a time like that. Shit.
was already considered unk at 12 years old. A caveman could just catch the common cold and everyone in the village already
Get
knew it was
GG'd.
contagious. If my caveman homie caught the cold and gave it to me, I'm gonna have to spear his ass first before the cold takes him. Plus, since there was no hygiene like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, they were dying to basic things we prevent nowadays like tooth infections and ass aids. Well, I don't know about ass aids, but a leaf to wipe your ass had to have not been held. But the main reason I couldn't live back then, quite frankly, is because everyone was ugly as shit. Like, how am I supposed to be on my
Damn.
Casanat, Duke Dennis, looks maxing, edge mewing, joking type of timing when I look like this? I just keep bashing my face against the wall and hope my proportions smooth out better like handsome Squidward. The next time we got is the medieval times. Now, there's a obvious reason I wouldn't survive because, well, let's just say I wouldn't be allowed in the town with the regular folks. But it's not like I'd want to because shit was not fun. Like, I know I already
Hey, listen, for what it is that I've done research on, is that the hygiene was not hygiening during that time. When I say it is that the medieval times, it was with Europeans and everything, they wasn't bathing like that. There was a point in time to where perfume became a thing in Europe because of how bad people smelled. It wasn't washing like that. They would wear those big, huge gowns, and women will literally stop where it is that where they are to go either pee or defecate at the moment to where it is that they are. There wasn't people cleaning up after that and everything. Like toilets used to explode during that time. Like, I wouldn't want to live during this time neither, because I'm sure it is you can smell these niggas from a mile away. I'm cool on that. I'm cool. And may I add, it is we was the one that taught them how to bathe. Ain't that something?
We talked about hygiene with the caveman, but holy shit, at least they died early. There were actual old people in the medieval times. Back then, they used to actually think it was healthier to not shower. Scientists were not the brightest creatures. They thought diseases were caused by smells, and if you took a shower, it'd open up the pores for the disease to enter your body, which has got to be the dumbest conclusion ever, but hey, that's what you get on a diet of stale bread and moldy cheese. I also like me a nice toilet with the C-ass temp set at 68 degrees Fahrenheit to set forth the environment for my bowels to erupt. But do you know what a medieval toilet looked like? It was a hole in the ground. And after people finished doing their business, they would just throw their outside. Imagine walking to school or work in the morning and you get hit by 5 pounds of diarrhea from above. And in medieval times, you better hope you don't get caught with doing a heinous act like being a traitor, being black, because their torture methods were out of pocket
Or being a witch.
for no reason. If you're tapped into the historical side of YouTube, you've already seen how wild they could get. And the names give them away of the torture devices. Like, what type of joist object would be called the breast ripper? The worst one to me is the rack, where they tied you to a mechanical device that rotates and slowly stretched out your body until every bone broke and you ripped in half. If they bring this back as a torture method, never in my life am I even attempting to do the pettiest crime. I'm gonna be the most stellar citizen the government has ever seen. I'll always make sure to cross the street on a crosswalk, and I'll always make sure to go exactly the speed limit, not risking. And it's not like they even did it for only extreme criminals. If you simply had a different religious belief, they was finna call you a witch and put you on it pronto. Honestly, I don't even know why you would even tell them you have a different religious belief. Like, you just gotta be stupid. Also, people think politicians and world leaders are corrupt now, but could you imagine back then? You could probably give a king the wrong look, and if he's already mad that day, he'll just send you to be executed. And if I was a king, honestly, I'd probably do that too. Like, if I see some dude in the kingdom that looks handsome and might be a threat to my pulling abilities, I'm gonna have him executed. Game is game.
So you're gonna use your authority to be petty. Heard that, Tommy.
It's not like anyone was going against the king. If they tried, they would barely have a chance. You would try killing a king, a knight would stop you, then put you through the most excruciating torture to ever exist.
Take him to Detroit. No!
We also thought quarantine was bad and staying a year and a half or 2 years inside was excruciating. But in medieval times, they had the Black Plague, and yeah, we really shouldn't be complaining. You were waking up every day and bodies were dropping left and right like no tomorrow. One day it was your homie's grandmother gone. The next day it was your grandmother gone. This plague took out 50% of the population. Imagine right now we went from 8 billion to 4 billion. Honestly, I wouldn't mind some of y'all freaks being taken out, but 4 billion was a little too much for me, you know? And their plague was 7 years. Also, the doctors were not helping back then, because why did they choose this as their outfit? They look creepy as f. No way in hell I'm letting these dudes get near to help me with my medical predicaments. They couldn't have chose a scarier costume to go with. What were they thinking? Imagine being an innocent child and having the Black Plague, then this thing comes to aid and consulting you. I'ma just say my prayers to my Lord and Savior, then drop dead. The next times we got is segregation times. And if you're not of a melanated skin tone, well, congratulations.
I'm not gonna lie with you.
We got is segregation.
I'm not gonna lie with you. I'm not gonna lie with y'all, chat. If we lived in a time like this, which with segregation, this was before 1965. So we're talking into the 1960s, maybe even 50s and 40s, depending. The way how it is, I would put my hands on niggas. The way how it is, I would put my hands on niggas. If you think it is I'm rebellious now, wait till it is I'd be rebellious, you know what I'm saying? Like during a time like that, I will let it be known it is like, hey, listen, what you not about to do? Oh, you said this water fountain is for white folks? Watch what it is that I do. Watch what it is that I do. If we're looking at this right here, right? If we looking at this right here, this water fountain right here, this is colored, reserved for colored. I just know it is that water hot. You know what I'm saying? That water's not taken care of with, like, you know what I'm saying? It probably isn't even cold for real. That's some hot ass fucking water. Man, I'd be rebellious as shit. You know? I will be wholeheartedly rebellious. Like, I see something that is like, look, like, oh, this water fountain for white folks? Watch what I do. I'll go ahead and I'll get like a Polaroid, you know what I'm saying, in black and white. You'll see me in a black and white photo, you know what I'm saying, getting the best motherfucking cold water it is possible, gang. You got me twisted. You got me twisted. If you think it is, I won't do it.
Times. And if you're not of a melanated skin tone, well, congratulations, you get a one-time pass for this portion of the video to relive it. Let me give a shout out real quick to the GOATs, MLK, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, because without them, you wouldn't be watching this video of me. Either that or there would be a black-only YouTube and white-only YouTube, so I don't know, maybe you would be watching it. I would have been pissed off living back then because the hassle you had to get anything while segregated was absurd. Like, we already know everything was separated by black and white places only, but then imagine how many actual black businesses you could go to. The hassle you had to go through alone to be able to open a business was almost impossible. As soon as they saw the race listed on the business application, you know they did not give a fuck. If you had to get a life-threatening surgery, you might as well just end it there because there were about 50 people in line in front of you. And even if you did manage to get something luxurious like a car back then, you was getting pulled over every time you drive. You probably couldn't even use the car at nighttime anyways because sundown towns. Which for y'all that don't know are towns that ban non-white people from coming in after sundown. Imagine you don't know and randomly drive into the town a minute after sundown and catch a beating. I'd be pissed. And a beating is probably the lightest punishment they'd consider. I'd also be mad too because I wouldn't be able to talk to one of my white homies half the time. You couldn't hang out at the same school, hotels, bars, restaurants, parks, basically anywhere that was fun. The only place we would be able to talk is probably a damn grass field in the middle of Iceland. And if your love happened to be of another race as well, they definitely not gonna let that pass. You finna get banished from the family. Why do you think you've never seen an old light-skinned person? Really question yourself. Have you ever seen an old light-skinned person? They wasn't breeding them until like 50 years ago. It wasn't allowed. Thank the heavens they allowed it, or else we would have never gotten my pookie wookie trachey snakey. You could be.
Hey, listen, during the slavery times, there was a lot of light-skinned people being, unfortunately, being created. And I say unfortunately because most of with the slave women, it was not by their choice. It is that they've had these children. Oh, actually, no, let me not lie, because there is a thing called bed wenches. So yeah, there maybe there was. That would be laying up with massa and having all these damn children and shit. Like a lot of these presidents it is that we've had before had some biracial children, or they have some lining of black within their family. You know what I'm saying? We already done seen with a few. I would just love to know if George Washington was one of those people, because I think this nigga had 325 slaves within his shit by itself. And it's been talked about it before, but the family don't want to do the DNA. They don't want to do the DNA testing on it. They're just like, no, we don't want to do that. But it has been proven it is that a lot of these old, like a lot of the presidents way before have some black in their family. Why? Because they was the one that was dipping in the black.
Walking down the street normally doing your own thing, and randomly someone is calling you the hard R like it's Call of Duty. And unlike Call of Duty where you can talk back, you couldn't risk doing it because you know the cops are not taking your side. You get in a life sentence if you even think of speaking back. Crazy thing is, some people act like this was like 500 years ago or something. The Civil Rights Act got passed 60 years ago. Some people alive were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s when it got passed. And of course, the last time we got is World War II because, no. Now, World War II was one of those times where every group had it bad. First, you had to get drafted to a war you didn't want to fight. Like, I don't got no problems with anyone. Why the f am I fighting? These presidents got to start fighting in a boxing ring or something because I'm not fighting with some problems you got. And patriotism went extra crazy before because kids were dead ass lying to get drafted and fight for the country. I'm doing the exact opposite of this happen. Whatever means it takes to not be drafted, I'm doing it. If I gotta lie about my age and act 12 years old, I'm doing it. If I gotta go up in a political position and be safe, I'm doing it. If I gotta act like I'm sped for years, I'm doing it. And it's even worse for other wars like the Vietnam War, because they would announce the draft picks on live TV, and whatever birthday it was, you were getting drafted. They treated it like
nah, that's actually sick.
Draft picks on live TV, and whatever birthday.
Damn, for all my people with these birthdays right here, boy. Why did they? Was this random selection? Why is the first one September 14th? This is, oh my God. Damn. Couldn't be me though. I see February 14th. I was February 9th, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have been chosen anyway.
You were getting drafted. They treated it like it's the NFL or NBA draft. Imagine watching this live and them going, okay, and the draft we have for the Vietnam War of 1972 is going to be... okay, I'm March 3rd. Please don't be me. Please don't be me. Please don't be me. March 4th. Oh. Guess I'm good after all. There's been a mistake in the announcement, but we meant March 3rd. Fuck! Patriotism really worked back then because all they knew was what the TV played and what the government said. Being on a warfield for months and not knowing when you're gonna either get sniped, hit by a 5-foot tank shell, captured by the enemy, and being tortured for weeks wasn't really the best living times for people. And if you were Japanese, well, I mean... yeah. You know how that story goes. Japan was ruthless though, not gonna lie, but could you imagine you're drafted into the Japanese military and the job they assign you is as a kamikaze? There was no age limit to this job either. They gave this job to teenagers. Your fate is already destined that you're dying. What do you even do at that point? A nigga like me would have to dip in the middle of the mission and just let the plane crash in the ocean. I feel like it would be way easier nowadays to get people to do it though. You could recruit by looking for some emo kids or a sad edit TikTok comment section, you know.
For all, actually, no, I got something better for you. For all you motherfuckers that is drinking McDonald's Sprite, for all y'all it is that's eating that nasty ass motherfucking Arby's, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all emo kids, you know, but y'all ain't got nothing to lose at this rate, you know what I'm saying? Those people don't got nothing to lose. And especially y'all niggas it is that's drinking Hennessy, y'all could be on that list too. Y'all don't like yourselves enough. God damn it. Put those people on the front line. You know what I mean? And especially you people it is that's keeping Arby's in business. I'll even furthermore go and say it is the people that's like putting Little C's in business and saying it is that Little C's pizza is actually good. Y'all motherfuckers don't like yourselves enough. So go ahead and be on that front line. Go ahead and get drafted for us. You know what I'm saying? Democracy. Love that. Love that. What's up, Summer?
People that wouldn't mind losing their life anyways. And if you were Jewish, well, I mean... you also know how that story goes. And after being forcibly drafted to the war, you'd come back home and still be broke. With all that PTSD you got, it was probably hard to work any job. You couldn't work in a restaurant because you get PTSD from oil popping from the fryer. You couldn't work a factory job because you get PTSD from all the loud machines. You couldn't work as a corn star because you get PTSD from all the clapping. And even if you do get paid, it's barely enough to scrap by. There's no reason we should have homeless veterans. So yeah, guys, even though the world isn't perfect and things seem like they're always getting worse, at least you didn't have to be a kamikaze pilot in World War II. I think that's the lesson here. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Listen, Tommy, I appreciate you, gang. Thank you so much for the video. You know what I mean? You said, what's wrong with Little C's? Why are we willingly eating Little C's in 2024 at this rate. Why? Why are we eating that? Why are we in Little C's and why are we eating Arby's? I'm gonna continue to keep talking my shit about with Arby's to the day that I die, bro. Y'all, if y'all in the chat, if y'all sitting there, y'all eating some motherfucking Arby's, I'm questioning y'all, especially as you eating meat mountains, roast beefs, and you going to Arby's, you going to Arby's to eat a fucking chicken sandwich. Yeah, I'm definitely talking about you, goddammit. And no, I am not sitting there and eating them damn curly fries, gangaroo. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Little C slander, and show for show is, and I'll continue. I'll stand on it. Stand on it, goddammit. But Tommy, shout outs to you, gang. Thank you so much for the video. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to you at home. Even if it is you do eat all of those things it is that I hate, I'm not gonna judge you for it. I'll catch y'all in the next video.